Hey guys, welcome back to part 5, question mark? Yeah, part 5 of the 6.86 patch lock analysis. We're up to Rubick, so we're almost done here. Of course, I'm joined by AOSendota, at AOSendota. What's up, man?
Well, not much. Having fun and analyzing all this new crazy shit.
Alright, so Rubick, normally I would just skip over something like this, but I feel like, well, being a Rubick player, Rubick, his laning stage needs a little bit of help. And I guess this sort of helps him a little bit, but not really. It's something.
Well, I think this is actually less. This is kind of irrelevant to his laning phase. I think this is more. This is actually a pretty decent buff because, like I mentioned earlier, it's like a very
Fighting
brawl
buff.
heavy. Yeah, it's a very brawl heavy patch. I feel like, and this is directly aimed at it. Like the duration is pretty significant. It's like 6 seconds, 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds. So, I mean, you think about the course of a fight, chances are it's not, most of the time it's not going to last, that long. So people are going to be stuck with the Fade Bolt debuff for the entirety of the fight.
Right.
It's actually quite a big deal.
I guess for laning, you don't have the mana to keep throwing out a spell like this, so it doesn't affect it there as much.
Yeah, but at the same time,
I guess for that one fight,
be.
For that one fight, right-clicking.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a big deal if you're playing, a traditional. Let's say you're playing a traditional 3v1 lane. That's not a big deal because if you nuke them, they just run away. But let's say, for example, you're playing a dual lane, or even like you're playing like an aggro try against another tri lane. That's a pretty big thing because level 1, it's a 20-second debuff. That means that every time you nuke them, if they're tagged by it, they can't fight for 20 seconds because the damage reduction is too much.
Wait, it's a 20-second debuff?
Oh wait, sorry, I read
No,
that
no. 10 second.
Damage reduction.
Yeah, attack damage.
Damage reduction percent.
Yes.
Sorry.
Does that affect how you look at this?
I mean.
It's
okay, so,
no.
I
What
mean,
you said definitely applies. Yeah.
It's
It doesn't last 35 seconds. That would be insane.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That was kind of confusing. But the same principle applies.
Same principle, yes.
Yeah. It's more like way more powerful early and for early fights and/or fighting lanes and that kind of stuff.
Yep. Okay. So Sand King, they reworked the scepter, which is good because not many people got scepter for the ult increase damage anyways. But the new scepter doubles your burrow strike cast range, so it brings you up to 1100, I believe, from 550.
I think it's even further than that because
I think the basic burrow strike cast range is 550.
Is 650. Basic is 650.
Oh, 650. So
it goes to 1300.
1300, and it applies your level of Caustic Finale, poison to heroes.
Yep, and with Aether Lens is 1500. So.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
you probably get Blink before Aether Lens. Although, more range doesn't hurt.
I think Aether Lens is a very late game item. I actually don't think it's necessary on this hero at all.
No, I don't think so.
Because you need way too many other items on this hero.
You need Blink?
You need Blink, you need and you want the Scepter, obviously. So you want Blink and Scepter. And then after that, you want utility. You either get Veil or BKB or even Force Staff before you would consider Aether Lens, in my opinion.
Is that the build now, though? Blink Scepter or Blink Force Scepter?
I think Blink Scepter is probably the best way to go now. Because this Scepter change is actually it's ridiculous. If you think about it, that's a 2,500 range initiation if you wanted to. Because that's, 1,200 Blink and a 1,300 stun. That's how you have to look at it now.
You probably don't want that long of range because your teammates can't keep up. But yeah, if you're falling behind, you could definitely go across the map very quickly.
I mean, it's something you can draft around,
Sure.
Yeah, it's definitely very, very powerful.
Hello, Sand King Storm, yeah?
And, well, the thing about it, too, is that Caustic Finale used to be a very kind of a whatever skill. I wouldn't say it's a whatever skill, but I played a lot of Sand King, and, sometimes you don't even need to get it right because you prefer taking the stats because you're not going to right-click anything or do any of that kind of stuff.
Well, here's the thing. Now you can max it because you're going Ags to make up for the stat points you miss. But here's the thing, though. It only poisons heroes. I felt like this will be broken if it poisoned creeps as well. Because imagine if you apply... Yeah, it would be absolutely broken.
Instantly blow up an entire wave.
Yes.
With, you'll blow up an entire wave. That would be broken. but having it applied to heroes is already really powerful because of the the recent Cosmic Finale change.
Right.
Like, yeah, if it applies it to them, and no matter what, once the timer ends, they're gonna take 110 damage and take a 30% slow. It's actually very big, and in a big team fight, you have to take into account that potentially someone will die, and that's a 220 damage explosion, and everyone's slow for 30%. It's actually really, really powerful.
All right, I absolutely agree.
And he gets 3 strength too. Like, Sand King is gonna be a big hero.
He doesn't fight well early though. In fact, he doesn't fight at all. He wants to just jungle up to Dagger.
Yeah.
Which maybe in this patch might not be doable, you think? If the fights break out very, very early?
See, that's actually a good point. Well, see, the thing now is that he needed to jungle before, and he jungled really fast when he got level 2 Sandstorm. But it's going to be a lot slower now because of creep changes.
Yep.
If you were to stack and stuff like that, they get so much magic resist that it might...
Dude, that Centaur Courser, though.
Yeah, exactly. So it might be a lot more difficult now to clear jungle as fast. You might have to find a way to speed up your Sand King by successfully ganking or something like that.
Okay. Alright, Shadow Demons, the next hero to talk about here. Disruption Illusions are now a lot longer, which... Who does that really affect? I guess against Radiant Spires? Against enemy PL?
I don't think that's actually the big thing. I think with 12 seconds, it's really good
Can you
for
stack a count?
sieging. I think it's very good for sieging.
Okay, fair enough. Okay.
Well, the thing about stacking too is that...
I think Poison is just better for stacking.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at the changes, it's from 5, 6, 7, 8 to 6, 8, 10, 12. So when you talk about stacking, you're thinking more, early game kind of thing.
Yeah, fair enough.
And it's not like you're gonna have a level 4 disruption anyways anytime soon. So your disruption's probably gonna be level 1 for quite a while, because I would assume you still take poison.
Yeah, and then Soul Catcher.
Soul Catcher. Yeah. So you're still gonna have a level 6-second illusion kind of thing. So I think it's mostly catered just to later game, and where you want to safely siege towers and stuff like that.
I would get Lens on this hero, by the way.
Oh yeah, I think that's a really good idea.
Yeah, for getting closer to...
Shroud,
yeah. Dude, the poison range?
Purges. Yeah, poison range, yeah. That's true.
Okay, let's talk about Shadow Fiend in all its shape or form. How it's been changed in the mid lane, how the new jungle stacking with the Centaur Courser providing, magic resist, and I guess the Aghanims at the end as well. But let's start with the base armor reduced by 1. Hero is now paper. And raises cost 15 more mana per raise. That's actually really, really heavy, yeah?
Yeah, this is a huge nerf to Shadow Fiend. Jungling got harder, and not only that, because of the mana cost, life just got way harder for Shadow Fiend. Your farming speed, in terms of jungling, is going to be much slower. You're still going to blow up waves in 2 raises at level 7, but
you were talking.
Okay.
you're not going to have that luxury of absolutely destroying the jungle before 10 minutes and coming out with a mech or something like that.
And I think one of the things that made Radiant Shadow Fiend much stronger is that you didn't have any good path to go into the jungle to challenge it. But now with the way that the jungle is shaped out, you could easily walk into the Radiant jungle to steal the stack if you want to, or kill Shadow Fiend when he's doing it. You have multiple ways to ward a spot now as well. So
And he lost 1 armor, so he's even easier to kill.
it always comes down to that. What about some of the other item changes that, or I guess not the item changes, but the game changed around it? Does it really affect him or not really?
I think it kind of does, because so Shadow Fiend is really he's really strong because of his farming speed and because he does so much damage because of his souls, right? And because of this, he's still going to do that much damage because of the souls, right? You'll have, I don't know, 150 damage at level 8 just because of that. And with that new Dragonlance item, it makes it so that you can just hit towers from out of the range. You can siege really early, That's how I see good uses of Shadow Fiend now that he doesn't farm as quickly.
By the way, did you talk about Courser? Have you tested that yet?
It's like 20% stacking. I haven't seen how powerful it is, but I mean, all neutral creeps start with 0%, so just by having one Courser, that's already a 20% reduction. I would assume that by the time it reaches maybe 2 Coursers, or sorry, 2 to 3 stacking magic resist creeps, you'll have to take more than three raises to kill big creeps.
Yeah, because nowadays, if you get a 3-stack big camp, you take 3 raises and all the big creeps are at like 1 or 2 hits away, so you can finish it off with physical attacks. I definitely tried level 3 raises against like a 3 or 4 stack camps with 1 Courser in. You need 4 raises to clear the camp, and now raises cost more, so ain't great.
Yeah, so that definitely slows them down by quite a bit. It would make it so that you would have to, or you don't have to, but it would make it more worthwhile to just wait until 7. And if you have to wait till 7, you
more chances of getting stolen.
More chances of getting stolen and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about Ags. Is this a joke, Ags, or is this actually good?
It's not a joke, but it's not good enough to consider buying it over your usual Shadow Fiend items, at least in my opinion. Like, I tested it out, and it's like, I guess it would depend on your lineup, but if you were to buy, one of the ideas I had for this scepter is that whenever you run Shadow Fiend, right, you run them as a very late game core usually from the mid lane. But now with this new scepter change, I think it's possible to use him as more of a mid game oriented kind of hero, and you can just walk in and tank everything. And if you have BKB scepter, it's kind of like having a early game satanic, because this thing heals you for a lot. If you touch even 3 heroes with this, with Requiem from, let's say, 600 range, and you were to hit 3 heroes, it's going to heal you for almost 800 to 900.
Have you heard my support Shadow Fiend idea?
No, what is that?
Alright, you get raised to level 1, right?
Okay.
You zone out any offlaner, because they can't come in. You got 3 raises.
Okay.
And then you get Necro Mastery and start denying. You start stacking for yourself. And you go Arcane Mech Greaves. And now with Axe. That's it.
Interesting.
Alright, another joke idea. What if you get Aether Lens on this? You just like mind fuck people.
Aether Lens. So that affects. That's a plus 200 to every raise.
Does it work like that? I want to say it does.
I have no idea. I haven't tested this, but that'd be kind of funny.
That sounds absolutely dumb, but also because you know, like
really stupid.
When they get hit by long range, you're like, oh, okay, I can run away now. Nope, got the real long range coming for you, bro.
That's a 900 range
raise.
Long raise, if that is how it works. I would have to test it, but that's
that sounds funny. All right, let's talk about Shadow Shaman. Yes, wards are now tankier in the late game. Definitely tankier in the late game.
Yeah. I don't think there's too much. It's not too big of a deal. Actually, that's not true.
It's very good against like Shadow Fiend, right? Sorry.
What's that?
Serpent wards used to like just die if you put it in the wrong spot very quickly, like to a hero like Shadow Fiend, just right click it down. This is definitely very good for that. But anyways,
this is a big. I would consider this a buff.
Yeah, well, it's definitely a buff.
Destroy is very, very annoying.
All right, so you were talking about Shackle.
I was talking about the Shackles. You know, 200 damage at level 2 is kind of interesting. I think it actually might be worth leveling Shackles at 2, or sorry, leveling Shackles at 3 over your usual like Fork Lightning, for example, or something like that.
I definitely would do that against like, let's say Darkseer, for example.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't do anything.
I think Shadow Shaman has a lot more options now in terms of skill builds.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, so let's talk about the new silencer. Curse of the Silent basically puts a buff on you, and it'll just, you know, deal damage to you, as well as drain mana, I want to say. Does it still drain mana? No.
I don't think
just
so.
It's just damage. And on base, it'll do like 240 damage, but every time you cast a spell, it would add 4 seconds to it. So every time you cast a spell, you'll do 140 extra damage to yourself if you cast a spell. So remember, the old curse, you want to get rid of it by casting a spell immediately. The new curse, you do not want to cast a spell. And I feel like for the for the sake of Silencer, the new curse is way better than the old curse.
I tested this, and this new curse is actually pretty powerful. I think that if you were to run support Silencer, it's actually worth buying Scepter now, because like if you global, right, they have to either sit through, they either have to sit through like the entire duration, right, if they want this debuff to go up, and it pauses if you're silenced, right?
Right.
So if you have a level 3 global, that's 5 seconds, and then you have to wait out 7 seconds for this to run out. So unless you dispel this by BKBing out of it or manting or whatever, like you have to wait 12 seconds until this runs out.
To cast a spell.
Yeah, and that means like supports pretty much are gonna have to live with this spell until it runs out, or until they die from a team fight. The damage really adds up.
It adds up very, very fast. Like yesterday, I had a teammate Zeus that had no idea why he was just dying to it. Like, cause as Zeus, you just keep casting your spells, and it was keeping up with the Zeus damage output. Well, not really, but Zeus eventually died after he cast like 4 or 5 spells in a fight. So it's actually pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be too ridiculous. The damage is like, they kept it kind of low because it's very easy to continuously force someone to keep casting stuff. Yeah. So I don't think it's gonna be OP, but it's definitely decent.
I mean, it's a sick counter pick to a lot of heroes in the current patch, I think. Like, can you imagine this against Earth Spirit? Like, what does he do if he gets cursed? Like, there are some spells that there's some heroes that just need a cast.
Yeah. Same with like Dazzle and that kind of stuff.
If you didn't notice.
By the way, my construction for my new Esport Palace has begun, so there's some banging noises in the back. I do have to apologize about it.
Your new esports palace.
Yes. I would give more information once it's complete, if it ever gets completed.
Interesting.
Alright, Glaive is no longer a unique attack modifier. That means you could empower it with Magnus, and he could cleave with range attacks with the new Ag Scepter. And crit. And
That's actually, I don't know what you guys talked about, but that new mag change is actually kind of interesting.
yeah, it's pretty sick.
Yeah, it makes it so that you can pick mag. It doesn't matter what setup you have, you can cleave. So you no longer have to pick a melee carry for Empower to destroy people.
It was always such a telltale sign when you pick like Sven, 4th pick, and you're like, okay, I guess I know what's coming as the off lane or mid. And it's like, it's Mag.
Right.
Yeah. Alright, Skywrath getting a buff, that's great. Slaughter getting the track treatment.
Yeah, I think this is pretty good for Slaughter. I don't think Slaughter is, you can handle him. It's not too bad, but the Amplify for how low the cost is and how long it lasts, and shows how much all that vision it gives. It was a little too much. I think this is pretty fair.
By the way, if you want to, anytime you see a good hero that could be a good Arcane Rune hero, just bring it up as well. Same thing with Aether Lens or Dragon Lens and all that stuff. So speaking of which, Storm. I have tested this. Arcane Rune does not work with ball lightning, because that would be absolutely broken if it did.
Yeah, you could travel forever.
Arcane Rune is 30% spell cooldown reduction and 50% mana reduction, right?
Mana reduction.
Yeah. Anyway, so Storm, it's still Storm, very weak. I don't know if he's playable. Every time I see him, he does very poorly.
I don't think. Yeah, I think he's definitely weak. He's not unplayable, but he's definitely weak. I mean, Sumail played it at Summit. I think I can't remember if they won though.
Yeah.
I think they actually did win. Yeah, I think they did win. But other than that, Storm's kind of hard to play right now.
All right, Sven getting God Strength, and now Scepter is a bigger increase for your allies. When's the last time you seen Scepter, Sven?
Never. Maybe support Sven, but
yeah, I think Kurogi got it once.
I actually did try it once in practice, picking support Sven and buying Scepter, but I think there's better options. So
like Empower Magnus with
Yeah.
Scepter.
Oh, and speaking of the Arcane Rune thing, I just thought it might be decent to get Bottle and Ags on Skywrath. You can just
Oh.
Rain down ult,
Oh.
it's 50% off.
Oh. But you're not taking advantage of that 30% cooldown reduction, though.
Well, I mean, but who cares? Like, who cares about that? It's about that 50% mana reduction.
Oh,
Because
that's pretty sick.
Because like what level 3 ult with scepter is what 800 mana or something stupid.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And if you have the rune, it's only 400. So you could drop like 4 of them.
That's really nice. All right, Templar. Okay, that's cool. Terrorblade. Do you have any experiences playing with or against this hero?
He's kind of annoying. It's not. He's still Terrorblade, but the new reflection thing.
Dude, that is so broken in my
It
opinion.
is so annoying and it's kind of broken. Yeah, it's very. What happens with it is that you just kind of build them tankier instead of the traditional like super greedy farming, and, you know, squishy kind of thing. You just make like maybe you have to get drums or something like that. But you want to build a little more, you know, health on him in the early game.
Is he an Aether Lens hero with that
No,
reflection?
it's not it's like that. But like you just walk into the middle of a team fight and you cast reflection, and it is so chaotic. Like I'm pretty sure it's a strat to break people's computers with this skill. Like
Okay,
every
real
time-
talk. Real talk. Is he a Dragon Lance hero with his metamorphosis punching from
I
a
don't,
billion
I don't
range?
think it's necessary. I don't think it's necessary.
Really?
uh,
Okay.
I don't think so, because I think it's good. His range is good enough where it is, and your uptime on metamorphosis doesn't really make it worth it. And I think he needs too many other items to sacrifice an item slot, whether it's late game or early game, to pick up a Dragon Lance.
Okay. So, how would you rate him as a carry nowadays compared to the more popular ones like Ember or Gyro or Sven or things like that? Or Juggernaut, I guess, is a even better comparison. He's actually very good against Jug in lane. I laned against him as Jug, and he just reflected me the hell out of it. I made a mistake of leveling up my crit. I've only put 1 point into it, and then I started getting reflection upon me. I was like, wait, this is not going well.
I don't actually think he's very good as a carry. I think he's actually much better as a mid. You know.
Okay.
The reason why I think that is because reflection is so powerful that it's worth like maxing first. And if you max it first, you're not exactly going to farm very quickly, right? So I think if you put him in the mid position, you'll still farm. You won't completely focus on farming. You just focus more on getting whatever you can from lane, and then you just show up and pop reflection and kill people.
You know, the funny thing is OG, if they want a non-farming fighting core, they put it on the safe lane instead. So, and then they put their hard farmer on the mid lane for Miracle. I just want to point that out because traditionally it's the way that you pointed out, right? It's
right. That's kind of true too. I mean, it's very, you know, situational.
Yeah,
lanes
yeah.
and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I understand that. You can swap it up if you wanted to.
cool. All right, so Tidehunter, Ravage Stun got a little bit increased. Anchor Smash, cast time, great. Now it's the Axe Scepter upgrade, and this is a pretty interesting one. Gush becomes a ground target wave that travels for 1800 range, and there's a 7-second cooldown on this spell.
Yeah, I think it owns.
I mean, we all agree it's
Really
good.
owns.
We all agree it's good, but
I think it's really good.
Refresher or Axe?
I think you can actually buy Ags first, then Refresher.
Wow, you're the first person that answers such as asset like to 5 or 6 different people. Can you explain? Can you explain why you think this is better than Axe?
Dude, it's 1800 range Gush, right? So you think about it, it's an AoE 1800 range. You can push it, like let's say you hit 5 people with it. That's applying Gush to 5 people. You can pair this up with, I don't know, any physical carry like Gyro or something like that. You're already gonna get more output just by, you know, having that. And because of how fast it travels, your like surprise gank capabilities go up like much higher too, because you can shoot out a Gush from the shadows and just catch someone, you know, disable their blink, whatever, and you know it makes it a lot easier to gank too.
Would
can
you?
see stats and stuff like that?
I think you would make the decision based on how many BKBs they have on their team, right?
Yeah.
So if they have a lot of BKB, then you will go for this instead of a second refresher, or do you say, all right, they have a lot of BKB, I need 2 Ravages to make sure I hit them?
I actually think for most situations I would still get Scepter, regardless of
Interesting.
BKB, because I mean I make it a habit not to underestimate people's reaction times, and you know, blink ravaging isn't gonna instantly stun them, right? People still have the chance to BKB out of it and stuff like that.
Right.
But this makes it so that you have you're more of a threat, I guess. You can scare people more and stuff like that, and do more, farm faster too.
You can split push like this, like a champ with this.
Split push like this, yeah, exactly.
Dude,
I think it's really, really powerful.
Gushing the wave.
It's a 7-second cooldown.
Yeah, gushing the wave and then anchoring, like you just kill the wave and then you just move on. It's pretty sick.
Yeah. Well, actually, the thing about the damage though is that you would still have to anchor twice with the one, if you gush.
Doesn't anchor does physical damage?
Yeah.
-5 armor. Is that not enough with gush and anchor to kill a wave?
Oh, that's what you mean. I think it still actually might not be enough. Wait, let me take a look. I'm looking at the damage really quick. So Gush only does 260, and Anchor only does 225. So, I mean, the armor reduction level 4 is 6 armor, and Anchor's does 225. I don't know how that translates to hitting creeps, but...
It doesn't sound like it's enough, yeah.
I don't think it's enough. You're gonna have to auto-attack once or something like that.
Okay, but still very fast.
Yeah, still very fast.
1800 range means you could, if you imagine the river, you could go across the river from one side to the other. You could definitely like scout Roche or do a whole bunch of scouting.
Does it provide vision?
It does not provide vision, but you know if you gush into the Roshan pit and Roche just comes barreling out, that means nobody's hitting it, right?
Okay, I see what you mean.
And it also applies minus armor to Roche without needing to proc a Lincoln, so there you go.
Yeah, I think it's very powerful.
Alright, Timbersaw. A lot of Timbersaw buff, particularly the mana cost reduction to Whirling Death. And I know it sounds absolutely dumb, but now that you can plant trees with tangos, or not tangos, GG branch, you could always get a Whirling Death pure damage proc if you want to.
Yeah.
If you want to throw out 50 gold per time doing it. I don't know how big of that thing is, but you know, it's something. Nothing to say about this hero? Just a timber?
I mean, I'm just still thinking about your Ironwood thing. I don't think it's...
Did it blow your mind, or was it just like, wait, that's pretty dumb?
No. I mean, I know about it, but I don't think it's going to be that... I don't think people are going to casually hold one branch just so they can keep throwing it out. Maybe they will. I don't know. I'm not a great Timbersaw player. I think that he doesn't need Ironwood assistance.
Well, let's be real. When you pick Timber, it's when he's really, really good against like strength melee heroes.
Strength, yeah. So I mean, that Whirling Death debuff is pretty damn good against that. It means they're gonna miss like a huge chunk of their health for 4 extra seconds. That's like double the time. So.
All right, definitely Arcane Rune hero. No questions about it.
Yeah, or not double, but 50%. Yeah.
And Aether Lens hero? Question mark. That chain 200 increase.
That chain, right?
Shock Realm?
I don't think so. Not necessary.
I think it's more that he has a lot more other items to go for.
He has a lot more other items he needs. Yeah, exactly. He really needs the mana regen, so you gotta buy all that stuff.
Alright, Tinker.
Tinker...
You know, I'm actually very surprised that he wasn't picked against Huskar. I know he doesn't do anything against Huskar, but he could permablind Huskar, right? When Huskar was a thing.
I mean, if you want to perma-blind Huskar, I mean, to get to that point, it's kind of difficult. Like,
I guess so,
you have to be level... Not even
16.
Level 16, because even if you're 16, you might not even...
Have the mana?
To rearm, yeah.
Alright, never mind. But Tinker as a hero.
I don't think this changed really... This doesn't really change too much. It makes his laning phase stronger, but doesn't really change much.
Well, no. Tinker as a hero generally, not just about laser, but have you forgotten how annoying it is to fight under Marcher Machine? I mean, if this is going to be a fight-heavy patch, isn't March a pretty big deal?
Well, because it's a fight-heavy patch, you're not going to get Tinker to the point where he's going to be unstoppable. you know.
I see.
And
He needs time.
in order for him to be that annoying, he has to be farmed. So I don't think it's too big of a deal.
And the camps are pretty wide apart, such that I don't think he gets like a juicy march like he used to, right? The Radiant jungle, you get a 3-camp march.
That's
So
true. That's true. Yeah.
that hurts him quite a bit. All right, Treant is the next hero I want to talk about. I actually think Treant is really, really good now with a.
Wait, you're skipping over Tiny? This is important.
Okay, now you don't get RNG screwed.
Yeah. Now, okay. This is actually this is
What happened?
important
Is it
'cause
burning?
Yeah,
you
it
can't
burnt.
get.
What burn?
Okay, so
Beans, 'cause I
what
forgot
happens now
about
is
it.
that Silver Edge is actually
I forgot to keep
usable on Tiny. Okay.
It's actually a true counter, not a.
It's actually a true counter, yeah, because I have been fucked over a lot of times by this, where I try to Silver Edge a Tiny, and I'm already craggied anyways before I even get a hit. And it is the most annoying thing ever. I'm actually really glad they made this change. It's definitely a nerf, but it makes more sense.
It definitely does make sense. All right,
So yeah,
can we talk about Treant?
yep.
All right, is he? I think he's already very, very viable.
Well, these changes are definitely nice, but I think it doesn't change anything about Treant. Like, you still pick Treant for whatever you want Treant for. You know, if that makes sense.
Yes, but what about the fact that once you get Ags, you could plant a tree instantly in a team fight to get a damaging overgrowth? Ever thought of that?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Okay, I'll give you that.
Now that you would carry a GG branch for.
That would you definitely carry GG branch for. But at the same time, I guess this would definitely change how Treants are built. I think you would actually have to buy Midas because Treant is very bad at farming.
Yes.
But once you get Scepter, you farm really fast. But all you really want is Scepter anyway, so.
That reminds me of a hero that just got introduced. That Arc Warden
Yeah.
fellow. It's actually broken, if you believe it.
I have no idea how that hero works. I've seen the skills, but having 2 Necros and 2 Midas seems kind of interesting.
Yeah, seems pretty good. All right, Troll Warlord. You know, he's got a couple of buff here and there, but what about Troll Warlord plus Dragonlance?
Troll Warlord and Dragonlance?
Is that even a thing?
Worth it.
No,
I don't
Okay.
think it's worth it.
You just want to
need
go
other
melee for him.
items, and you want to be melee.
Yeah.
The bash is too powerful.
All right, so whatever happened to Troll Warlord? Why wasn't he not a thing?
Like, he takes too long to start up. I feel
That
like
bot might be GG, by the way.
he has really like lousy stat gains and stuff like that. And every time I play him, what happens is like, no matter what items I buy, like, let's say I go phase Aquila, I'll still feel way too weak to fight. Like, it's just not enough. I don't hit fast enough. You know, I'm missing too many things. And then, let's say I buy Sanjin Yasha, I still don't feel like I'm contributing. You know, I don't know. Something about that hero just feels really off.
I feel like you really need to tap more into his ult in general. I feel like you can't just draft Troll by himself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
You gotta draft him with, I mean, some of the more common combos I've seen is drafting him with Tiny, so you can instantly destroy towers and that kind of stuff.
right.
I don't know. The hero just doesn't feel like. Maybe you're right about the Dragonlance actually, with his new Fervor stack. Maybe.
Maybe.
It is,
Just,
yeah,
you know,
I mean,
try it out.
The Fervor is much stronger now. Maybe
Maybe-
you can actually
Yeah, Dragonlance.
just play a troll
Range troll?
form only thing.
Get stats.
You don't even level your transformation. Like,
Dude.
actually no, that's stupid. You gotta get Warlord.
I recently watched that World Dota top 10 play. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
I have no idea.
Where he used the old transformation form from melee to
To
range
dodge.
to dodge stuns. Oh,
Okay, I don't think you can do that.
no, you cannot. That's the one thing I was very sad they took away from Dota 2.
Yeah,
But
I mean, actually, I don't know why they did it. It's really, really hard to do, but I guess it makes sense. It's
Does
kinda-
it? Does
I mean,
it make
if,
sense?
If you're really good at it, it's kind of broken.
Well, you know, Shine is broken in Smash. You know,
Okay, I don't know anything about Smash, so
but don't you like? Isn't there something very satisfying seeing something that's very hard to do, but being able to be done? I don't know.
yeah, just buy a mantle and dodge stuff.
Whatever. All right, we're gonna end this patch after talking about Tusk, or not this patch, this particular video, and then the next video will cover the rest. All right, so Tusk, tell me how he is not nerfed enough.
You don't think this is nerfed enough?
I think the vision from shards should be taken away. That is one of his strongest point, in my opinion.
That's actually kind of true. This is definitely a nerf, but I guess it's kind of true. It doesn't really change anything that made Tusk so OP.
Yes.
You can still do all the Tusk things that you originally did.
Yeah, I mean, sure, you lose the damn some here and there, you miss a kill here and there, but like, still, Tusk, Shards, and Snowball are still two of the best spells in the game. And the reason I keep harping about the vision on Shards is like, you throw it into Fog, and then you just randomly get it here, like, oh, I get a kill now. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll have to see. Like on paper, it doesn't look like he's nerfed a whole lot. Like he's still the same hero, but the changes to other heroes might be enough that he's just going to be overlooked. So we'll have to wait and see.
All right, Aether Lens hero?
Definitely not.
No, you don't. You don't think he needs more range? Oh wait, the hero has a ton of range already.
You can throw ice shards like across the map already, so who cares?
You know, they should have nerfed all his spells by 200 range just to like be like, yep, now you get your Aether Lens, and you're still back to OP status. I don't know, this hero's broken.
That actually might not be a bad idea. Nerf everything by 200 range.
Just make him have to buy. Alright. Alright, that's going to conclude this particular patch. The next one I'm going to talk about Ursa Aghs, Venge Aghs, and why Wyvern got nerfed way too hard. And of course, some of the items that we haven't touched on. Of course, he is Aos in Dota. You can follow him at Aos in Dota. And this last episode of the 6.86 analysis will be coming up next. Thank you for watching, guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed it.
And you